Once upon a chilling New Year's Eve, a group of friends gathered at an old, secluded cabin deep in the woods. Excitement filled the air as they toasted to new beginnings. Little did they know their celebration would take a sinister turn. As the clock struck midnight, strange occurrences began to unfold. Unsettling whispers echoed through the cabin, and an icy breeze swept through despite all the windows being tightly shut. The friends laughed it off, attributing it to the eerie ambience of the forest. Soon, the flickering candle flames formed ghostly shadows that danced ominously on the walls, one by one. The lights flickered and died, leaving the group in complete darkness. Nervous laughter turned to hushed whispers as they fumbled for flashlights, only to find them missing. Whispers grew louder, resembling eerie chants, and footsteps echoed through the cabin. Panic set in as the friends realized they were not alone. A shadowy figure emerged, wearing tattered clothing and an expressionless mask. Each attempt to escape was thwarted by an unseen force. As the mysterious figure drew closer, the group caught glimpses of horrifying faces in the windows, faces that mirrored their own, distorted by despair. The air thickened with an otherworldly presence, and the temperature plummeted. Attempting to communicate, the friends asked the figure's intent. In a ghastly voice, it spoke of forgotten promises and unresolved regrets, vowing to make them confront their deepest fears. Before the night's end, the friends were trapped in a nightmarish loop, reliving moments they wished to forget. As the first rays of dawn approached, the cabin seemed to sigh with relief, and the apparitions faded away. The figure, with a final cryptic warning, dissolved into the shadows. The friends stumbled out into the pale light, changed by an experience that blurred the line between the supernatural and their own haunted pasts. To this day, they struggle to comprehend that fateful New Year's Eve, forever haunted by the memories of a night that defied explanation, a midnight to remember, where time itself seemed to stand still, and the boundary between the living and the spectral became indistinguishable. In the small town of Ravenswood, New Year's Eve held a dark secret that locals whispered about in hushed tones. The year was 2024, and three friends, Alex, Sarah, and Jake, decided to spend the night at an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. As the clock struck midnight, the trio entered the decaying mansion, their flashlights cutting through the thick darkness that enveloped the old walls. The air was heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the echo of their footsteps on the creaky floorboards. The group reached a room adorned with dusty antique mirrors, reflecting distorted images of their apprehensive faces. Unbeknownst to them, the mansion had a history of mysterious disappearances on New Year's Eve, creating an eerie atmosphere that clung to the air like a sinister fog. As the friends explored further, they stumbled upon an old journal that spoke of a New Year's Eve curse, where those within the mansion at midnight would be trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Dismissing it as mere folklore, they continued their journey into the heart of the mansion. Suddenly, the temperature dropped, and an ominous presence lingered. Strange shadows danced on the walls, taking sinister shapes. Panic set in as the friends realized they were not alone. Whispers echoed through the corridors, and an otherworldly force seemed to draw them deeper into the mansion's abyss. In a chilling twist, the group found themselves reliving moments from the journal entries, trapped in a time loop that repeated the horrors of past New Year's Eves. Shadows of former inhabitants materialize, sharing tales of their fateful ends. As the clock approached midnight, the trio desperately searched for an escape, their fear escalating with each passing minute. The once decrepit mansion now seemed alive with malevolent energy. The walls seemed to close in, and the mirrors reflected ghastly apparitions. In a final attempt to break the curse, they gathered in the room with the antique mirrors. The clock struck midnight, and the mansion trembled. The whispers turned into anguish screams, and the trio was consumed by a blinding light. The following morning, the abandoned mansion stood as silent as ever, its dark secrets buried within its crumbling walls. The townsfolk, unaware of the trio's fate, continued their New Year's celebrations, unknowingly stepping over the threshold of a place forever tainted by the horrors of past and present. And so, the legend of Ravenswood's haunted New Year's Eve endured, a cautionary tale for those tempted by the allure of forgotten places and the mysteries they may conceal. In the quiet town of Eldridge Hollow, the arrival of New Year's Eve brought with it a series of spine-chilling events that would haunt the locals for years to come. The year was 2024, and three friends, Emma, Mark, and Tyler, embarked on a fateful journey to an isolated cabin nestled deep within the mysterious Whispering Woods. As the clock neared midnight, a thick fog enveloped the woods, creating an eerie backdrop for the unfolding nightmare. The friends, seeking a secluded spot to welcome the new year, stumbled upon the long-forgotten cabin. Its dilapidated exterior hinted at a history shrouded in darkness. Inside, the air was heavy with a sense of foreboding. Strange whispers echoed through the halls, and the flickering candlelight cast distorted shadows on the peeling wallpaper. Unfazed by the ominous atmosphere, the friends decided to stay and celebrate, unaware of the malevolent force that lurked within the cabin's walls. As the clock struck midnight, an otherworldly presence made itself known. The temperature plummeted, and the friends witnessed objects moving on their own. A ghostly figure materialized in the corner, its vacant eyes staring into their souls. Panic set in as they realized the cabin was a portal to a realm between the living and the dead. The friends attempted to flee, but the doors refused to budge. The whispers grew louder, revealing the tragic tale of a family that had met a gruesome end in the cabin on a New Year's Eve. Long ago, the ghostly apparitions of the family members materialized, trapped in a perpetual loop of anguish. Desperation gripped Emma, Mark, and Tyler as they navigated the haunted corridors, encountering spectral entities and witnessing glimpses of the tragic events that unfolded in the cabin. Each step seemed to draw them deeper into the grip of the supernatural, where time warped and reality twisted. In a climactic moment, they discovered an old journal revealing a ritual that could break the curse. With trembling hands, they followed the instructions, hoping to free themselves from the spectral torment that surrounded them. The cabin shook, and a blinding light engulfed them. When they awoke, the cabin stood eerily silent, devoid of the paranormal energy that had tormented them. The whispering woods outside seemed calm, and the fog had lifted. The friends emerged, changed by the harrowing experience, forever marked by the shadows of midnight. As the first rays of the New Year's sun illuminated Eldritch Hollow, the locals sensed a shift in the air. The cabin, now abandoned and weathered, stood as a somber reminder of the otherworldly perils that could be unleashed on a night when the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. And so the legend of Eldritch Hollow's haunted New Year's Eve persisted, a tale whispered among the townsfolk as a warning to those who dared to venture into the unknown when the clock struck 12 on the eve of a new beginning.